For this craft, you will need
an old milk or juice carton. Make sure you've cleaned it really well before you use it. 4 bottle caps. You want them all to be the same size. 2 plastic straws. 2 wooden skewers. A ruler and a pen. Scissors. You may also want paint and a paintbrush if you want to decorate your car. And glue. White glue or hot glue will work. You're going to start with your carton, and we're going to make holes for the axles for the wheels to go through. We want these to be really precise and even so that our car is not lopsided and doesn't have any trouble rolling. Keep in mind that the size of your bottle cap will affect how high up your wheels can go. The hole is going to mark where the middle of the bottle cap goes. So you need to make sure that the hole is not going to be so far up that your bottle cap doesn't go over the edge at the bottom. You want to make sure it's low. So I'm going to mark probably about 1/2 centimeter up from the bottom, but I'll go maybe 2 centimeters in. So I'm going to find my 2 centimeters in, make a line. So I know that that's the line that I want to draw my hole on, and then I'm going to measure 1/2 centimeter up from this point. And that cross is where I'm going to make the hole. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. 2 centimeters in. And then 1/2 centimeter up. Now, it's really important that when I flip it over, I'm doing the exact same thing on this side, same distances. Two centimeters in. Mark it with a line. Then I'm going to go 1/2 centimeter up. And same thing on the other side. 2 centimeters in. Half a centimeter up. So now this marks the points for all my holes, and I'm going to use my scissors to kind of punch a hole into the carton. Be careful when you're doing this that you're always holding the side and you're not putting your fingers on the blades, and you might want to kind of push and twist as you go down until you get that hole. Be gentle and take your time. You don't want to hurt yourself, or if you're worried about that, get someone you trust to help you. Do it again for the marks you made on the other side. And you want to make sure that your holes are going to be wide enough for the straw to fit through. So if your straw can't get through, you're just going to widen them a little bit more. Now, if you want to decorate this and make your car some fun colors, you should do it now before we move on to the next steps. Once your paint is dried, you're ready to move on to the next step, which is putting in our axles and our wheels. So you're going to bring your straws back, and you're going to slide them through the holes on one side to the holes on the other side. And then same thing at the other end. Then, once the straws are through, you're going to take the skewers and slide them through the straws. And you want to make sure that the skewers stick out both ends of the straws. If they don't, then all you have to do is trim the ends of the straws a little bit, but mine are out enough that it's okay. It doesn't have to be very far, just, half a centimeter at minimum. Then your last step is to glue the bottle caps onto the end of the skewers. I'm going to use hot glue for this because it dries nice and fast and it's easy to hold. If you're using white glue, you can do it as well. You're just going to have to be able to hold it in place, so keep in mind it's going to take a little bit longer to hold like this while it dries. Make sure you're gluing the skewer into the middle of the bottle cap. This will make sure that your car rolls evenly. Once all your wheels have completely dried, you can put the car back down the way it's supposed to go and it will roll.
Your final product should look something like this. For this craft, you will need
an empty juice or milk carton, scissors, and paint and a paintbrush if you want to decorate it. You're going to start with your carton, and about halfway to 2/3 up, depending on how deep you want your planter to be, you're just going to cut all the way around to cut off the top. The first corner is going to be the trickiest. You might just want to kind of like pinch it in and get a good kind of snip. But once you make that initial hole, it's going to be a lot easier, and you're just going to cut all the way around. So this is your kind of basic planter. If you wanted to make more of a funky edge and decorate it, you can do that as well. Or you can just have your planter straight like this, fill it with dirt, and put a plant in it. But I'm going to try and spruce it up a little bit. So I'm going to start by folding the edge down, which means I'm going to cut just a little bit down on each corner. And then I'm going to fold the edge down to that cut over all the way around. And I just think that makes like a nice fun kind of lip and helps maybe keep some of the dirt in. But you don't have to do that, and then you get to just paint it. You might have to wait for it to dry and apply some more coats depending on your paint and the texture of your carton.
Your final product should look something like this. For this craft, you will need
an empty milk or juice carton, a piece of string around 2 feet long, a ruler, a pen or pencil, and scissors. You may also want paint or a paintbrush or markers if you'd like to decorate it, but today I'm going to leave mine plain. So starting with your carton, we're going to draw a square onto the front that we're going to have to cut out. So I'm going to use my ruler, and I want my square to be just a little bit above the bottom, maybe about 1 centimeter or 1.5 centimeters. And I'm going to mark that. And then I'm going to do the same thing at the same height on the other side. And then I'm going to draw a line connecting the two. Then I'm also going to draw in just a little bit from the edge, again 1 centimeter-ish, maybe even a little less, and do the same thing a little higher up and on both sides. Then use your ruler to connect those lines. And then you're going to mark your top line as well, and maybe about 8 to 10 centimeters up above that bottom line. Mark it in a couple spots, and then connect them together. And now you have the square that you're going to need to cut out. It's going to be a little tricky to get your scissors in at first. You're going to kind of have to push in one blade. But then once you get it in, it's going to be a lot easier. Now you have this nice opening where the birds can enter in, and a lip that will keep any bird seed you want to put in inside. Now all that's left is to create a way to hang it, so we're going to have to punch a hole on each side to thread the string through. I'm going to do this with my scissors by poking them through the top. Be really careful when you're poking through that you're not holding onto the blades of the scissors. You're holding onto the handles or the sides as you push in. So you're going to feed one end of your string into that hole, and then you can put your hand up through the hole that you've already cut out to help guide it through. So you can pull it through, and then you're going to push it up out through the other hole. And then you can tie them together in a knot. And make sure you don't just pull on these two ends, but you pull on the other ends too, so that the knot doesn't slide all the way down to the bottom. It stays up at the top, and then you'll probably want to knot it again to really make sure that it's holding it in place. And then you have a very simple homemade bird feeder.
Your final product should look something like this. I hope you enjoyed making this week's crafts, and I'm looking forward to see what yours look like. If you made one of the crafts shown in our tutorials, send us a picture at our email, misquahcrafts@gmail.com, and we can feature it in one of our videos.